Dear learners, I welcome you all to the MOOC on Principle of Electrical Sciences. I am Dr. Sanjay Agrawal, Associate Professor in Electrical Engineering, School of Engineering and Technology, IGNOU, New Delhi. In previous session, we have discussed characteristics of the ideal transformer and we have also derived EMF equation of single phase transformer. In this session, we will discuss phasor diagram and equivalent circuit of transformer on no load. We will also discuss working of transformer on low load with help of phasor diagram and equivalent circuit of transformer. So first of all, we are going to discuss transformer on no load. A transformer is said to be on no load when secondary winding is open circuited and the secondary current I2 is 0, as you can see in the diagram. In this case, neither the secondary winding has any effect on the magnetic flux in the core nor it has any effect on the primary current. In actual transformer, the losses cannot be neglected. And what are those losses? Those losses are the core losses, and it may be the hysteresis current losses and eddy current losses. So you can see in the diagram that we are applying voltage V1 at the primary side of the winding, and just we are assuming that resistance of the winding is 0, or you can say we are neglecting. That means whatever the voltage you are supplying through the supply voltage, due to this there is one current will flow. That current is I suffix m, which will be useful for the magnetizing of the core. So due to this there will be one flux will be induced, that can be said Im into N1, and due to this one flux will be induced which will link to the number of turns N2, which is of the secondary winding. So due to the flux linkage Im and N1, there is a EMF induced, that is a E1, and due to the Lenz law, this E1 opposes the supplied voltage V1. So you can say V1 is equal to minus E1. Therefore, if transformer is on no load, a small current, you can say this current is I naught, is usually it is 2 to 6% of the rated current. This current is called exciting current, which is drawn from the primary winding. This current has to supply the iron losses, and these losses are the hysteresis losses and eddy current losses in the core, and a very small amount of copper losses in the primary, because this no load current is very less, it is 2 to 6%, so you can neglect. So this current is very less, that means these losses are very less. This copper losses is very less as compared to the core losses, that they are generally neglected. Moreover, secondary copper losses are 0 as I2 is 0, because secondary winding is open. If secondary winding is open, that means there is no current is flowing at the secondary side. So this current I2 is 0, this current is I2 is 0. So copper losses that happens in the secondary winding, it can be said as I2 square into R2, and this R2 is the resistance of the secondary winding. Now because this current I2 is 0, that means these losses are also 0. Even at no load, a transformer draws some active power from the source to provide the following losses in the core, and these losses are the eddy current losses and hysteresis losses, as I already told you. The current responsible for the active power is nearly in phase with the applied voltage and is known as core loss current. A transformer, when connected to the supply, it draws a current to produce the flux in the core, and due to this rate of change of flux, there is a one EMF induced in the primary winding E1, and when this flux is linked to the secondary winding, that means due to the rate of change of flux at the secondary side, this flux will link with the number of turns N2, that is a E2 is equal to minus N2 d phi over dt. So there, due to this induced EMF E2 will induced. If any load is connected, then you can take the supply from the secondary winding. So because we are discussing the transformer at the no load, so at no load means secondary current is 0, or you can say secondary side is open. So here you can see in the phasor diagram at no load what happens. So at the horizontal axis, that flux phi has been shown here. This phi is lagged with the voltage V1 by the 90 degree. As you know that phi is equal to phi m sin omega t, and due to this flux there is one EMF induced, that is E1. This E1 lags by the 90 degree with respect to the phase, and this supply voltage, that is V1, is just opposite to the E1, which have a V1 is equal to minus E1. So this V1 will be reflected on the vertical axis just opposite to E1. So you can say this phi is lagging with respect to V1 by the 90 degree. Now the magnetizing current, which is denoted by Im, is in phase with the flux phi and lags behind the applied voltage by nearly 90 degree. The phasor sum of the core loss component of current, which is denoted by I suffix C, you can see it has been shown on the vertical axis, and the magnetizing current Im, which has been shown on the on horizontal axis. So this load current I naught is nothing but it is a vector sum of the current IC and Im. So what is the value of this current IC? So you can see in the phasor diagram, this IC current can be written as I naught cos phi naught, and Im current, that is magnetizing current, can be written as I naught sin phi naught. Now you have already calculated the core loss current and magnetizing current. Now we have to find out what will be the value of the core loss. So this core loss can be written as P naught, and this P naught can be written as V1 into I naught cos phi naught. This I naught is what? This I naught is nothing but this is a no load current, and this cos phi naught is a power factor. Now from the phasor diagram you can also calculate the value of the power factor. This cos phi can be written as IC upon I naught, where IC is what? IC is the core loss current and I naught is a no load current. So by this you can also find out the power factor. So now you have a value of the power factor, you have a value of the voltage V1, that is a supply voltage, you have a value of load current I naught. So by putting this formula you can easily calculate the core loss, that is V1 naught is equal to V1 I naught cos phi naught, where phi naught is the phase angle between V1 and I naught, and cos phi is the no load power factor. The phase relationship between applied voltage V1, no load current, and its component IC and Im is shown in this figure. So here you can see this is the equivalent circuit of the transformer at no load. So here you can see V1 is the supply voltage, and this I naught is a no load current, and this I naught load current has a two component. There is a which is denoted by IC, that is a core loss current, and another current is Im. So this R naught is a resistance of the core, and X naught is a, you can say, reactance at no load of this core. Because we are calculating all the value at the no load, that means secondary is open, you can see here. So due to this applied voltage V1, the one EMF will be induced, which is shown here as a E1, and now this flux will link with the secondary winding also. So this flux is equal to what? This can be said as I2 into N2, where I2 is the secondary current, N2 is the number of turns. So here, because secondary is open, that means you can say I2 is 0. If I2 is 0, that means N2 into I2 is 0. If N2 into I2 is 0, that means whatever the flux that is producing in the secondary side is 0. If flux is 0, that means because EMF induced at secondary side is directly proportional to rate of change of flux at the secondary side. So there is a flux is 0, that means there will be no EMF will be induced at the secondary side if secondary winding is open. Again, you from this equivalent circuit diagram you can calculate the value of the current, that is a IC. So energy component of no load current, which is denoted by I suffix C, can be written as V1 upon R naught. Here you can see this V1 is a voltage across this resistance R naught, because this R naught and X naught are connected in parallel with the supply voltage. That means this V1 will act as a voltage for R naught also, and this V1 will act for X naught also. So energy component of no load current IC can be written as V1 upon R naught. Similarly, you can also find out the magnetizing component of no load current. It is denoted by I suffix M. So what is the voltage across this X naught? Voltage across X naught is also V1, that is a supply voltage. So this magnetizing current at no load, which is Im, can be written as V1 upon X naught, where V1 is a supplied voltage and X naught is a reactance of the core at no load. Now you can also find out the core loss or iron loss. This losses can be calculated as IC square into R naught, where IC is the current which is flowing in the R naught resistance, so it can be written as IC square into R naught. If you put the value of IC as IC equal to B1 upon R naught in this equation, so this core loss or iron loss can also be written as B1 square upon R naught. Now we will take one example on the basis of previous discussion. So at no load, a transformer has a no load loss of 50 watt. So what is the value of this? That means this P naught is a 50 watt, which draws a current of 2 ampere RMS and has an applied voltage of 230 volt. This is also RMS voltage. So you have to determine the no load power factor. Second quantity that you have to measure, that is a core loss current, and third one is magnetizing current. And you have to also calculate the no load circuit parameter, that is RC and AX suffix M of the transformer. So first of all, you just note down whatever the parameter are given in the problem. So here you can see that no load loss or no load power is given as 50 watt. So you can write P naught is equal to 50 watt. Here current is also given here, that is a no load current, so you can write I naught is equal to 2 ampere. And what are the supply voltage? The supplied voltage or applied voltage, which is denoted by V1, that is equal to 230 voltage, so you write V1 is equal to 230 voltage. So as you know the formula, that no load loss can be written as V1 I1 cos phi naught, where cos phi naught is what? This is a power factor at no load, right? And this V1 is what? This is the applied voltage, and I naught is what? I naught is no load current. So on the basis of this formula, you can calculate the power factor at no load, and this power factor at no load, that is cos phi naught, can be written as P suffix C upon V1 into I naught, and value of PC is already given, that is a 50, and value of V1 is given 230, and value of no load current I naught is given as 2. So just after the putting the value of PC, V1 and I naught in this expression, and when we will solve it, it comes 0.108, that is lagging of nature. So because now you have a value of the power factor, that is cos phi naught is equal to 0.108, so you can also calculate the phase angle phi naught. Phi naught can be written as cos inverse 0.108. So after the solving, the phase angle at no load, it comes 83.76 degrees. So value of phi naught is what? Value of phi naught is 83.76 degree. Now because you have to calculate the magnetizing current as well as you have to calculate the core loss current. So on the basis of the phasor diagram of the transformer at no load, we have already seen that magnetizing current, that is Im, can be written as Im is equal to I naught sin phi naught, right? So you have a value of I naught and you have already the value of sin phi naught. So just put the value here. So value of I naught is what? Value of I naught is 2, and value of sin phi is what? Just you can write sin 83.76. Just you solve with the calculator, and after the putting the value of the magnetizing current comes, it is 1.988 ampere. Similarly, you can also calculate the core loss current. Core loss current, that is IC, can be written as I naught cos phi naught. So you have a value of the I naught, that is a no load current, it is a 2 ampere, and value of cos phi naught is what? Value of cos phi naught is 0.108. So just put the value here, and after the solving you will get the value of the core loss current, that is IC is equal to 0.216 ampere. Now as you know the formula, that is P naught, that is a no load loss, can also be written as V1 square upon R naught, where V1 is the applied voltage or you can say supplied voltage. So because you have to calculate the value of R naught and Xm. So R naught can be written as B1 square upon P naught. So value of the B1 is already given, that is a 230 voltage. So B1 square can be written as 230 into 230, and value of P naught is what? That is a 50. So after putting this value and solving this value, you will get the value of resistance R naught, that is 1.059 ohm. Similarly, you can calculate value of the Xm. Xm can be written as B1 upon Im. So value of V1 is what? Value of V1, or you can say this is applied voltage or applied voltage, is given, that is a 230, and value of the magnetizing current you have already calculated, that is a 1.988. Just put the value of V1 and Im, and after the solving you will get the value of Xm, that is 115.69 ohm. So R naught can also be calculated by another formula, that means R1 can be written as R1 is equal to B1 upon IC. So you have value of V1, you have value of IC. So after putting this value, you can calculate the value of resistance R naught, which comes equal to 1.059 ohm. So this is how you can calculate the magnetizing current, you can calculate the core loss current IC, you can calculate the value of resistance R naught, you can calculate the value of Xm on the basis of the given data by using simple formula. Just you have to remember the equivalent circuit and the phasor diagram of the transformer at no load, and on the basis of that data or parameter given, you can calculate any value, whether it is Im, IC, you can calculate the P naught, you can calculate the R naught and Xm. Now we are going to discuss transformer on load. So what do you mean by load? Load means if you connect any load, this load may be the resistive load, this load may be the inductive load, it may be the capacitive load, or maybe the combination of these. So you connect load at the secondary side. So this transformer will be called as a transformer on low load. When the secondary circuit of a transformer is connected through an impedance or load, the transformer is said to be loaded and current flows through the secondary and the load. The magnitude and the phase of the secondary current, which can be shown as a I2 in the figure, with respect to the secondary terminal voltage V2, will depend upon the current I2 will be in phase, or it will lag behind, or it will lead the terminal voltage V2 respectively when the load is resistive or inductive or capacitive in nature. So if load is resistive, that means secondary current I2 will be in phase with the voltage V2. If load is inductive, that means current I2 will lag by the voltage V2. If load is a capacitive, that means this current I2 will lead with respect to the voltage V2. So here you can see in the figure, that is applied voltage V1, induced EMF is E1, at the primary side having a number of turns N1, the secondary side having a number of turns N2. So due to this, induced EMF is E2, and voltage across load, it can be denoted by V2. So this N1 and N2 decide whether this is a step up transformer and step down transformer. If N2 is more than N1, then you can say it is a step up transformer. If N2 is less than N1, then you can say it is a step down transformer. So we are not bothered whether it is a step up transformer or a step down transformer. Just we are discussing how the transformer will work when transformer is loaded. So the working of the transformer on the load can be understood by step. So first you can understand that when there is no load connected at the secondary side. So here you can see in the diagram, that means I2 is 0. So at that moment only I naught current will be flow, and where this V1 is a supplied voltage and E1 is a induced EMF, and due to this current I naught and N1, there is a one MMF will be produced, that is I naught into N1. Due to this flux, phi will be produced, and this phi will be linked to the core of the transformer. So when transformer is no load, as shown in the figure, it draws no load current I naught from the supply mains. The no load current I naught produce an MMF, that is IN1 into I naught, which set up the flux in the core, as I already told you. Second step is when load is connected at the secondary side. Here you can see that is one load is connected, and due to this load that current I2 is flowing. So when the transformer is loaded, current I2 flows in the secondary winding. This secondary current I2 produces an MMF, that is N2 into I2, which set up the flux phi 2. Here you can see in the figure B. This flux opposes the main flux, that is a phi. That means this phi 2 will oppose the main flux phi, which is set up by the current I naught as shown in the figure B as per the Lenz law. So what is happening here? In brief, you can see when load is connected at the secondary side, due to this I2 current is flowing, and due to this I2 current there is a one MMF produced, I2 into N2. This I2 N2 is producing flux phi 2, which is opposing the main flux phi as per the Lenz law. Since phi 2 opposes the flux, and therefore the resultant flux tends to decrease and causes the reduction of the self-induced EMF E1. So there is an increment in V1 minus E1 because E1 is reduced. So net current that is flowing in the primary winding due to the potential difference between V1 and E1, because value of E1 is reduced, that means value of V1 minus E1 is increased. So therefore more current is drawn from the supply mains through the primary winding until the original value of flux phi is obtained. So here you can see the current I1 dash is in phase opposition with the I2 and is called the primary counterbalancing current. This additional current I1 dash produces an MMF, that is N1 into I1 dash, which produce the flux just opposite and equal to flux produced by the secondary winding, that is equal to N2 into I2, which set up the flux phi in the same direction as that of phi as shown in figure C, and this phi dash cancelled the flux phi 2, which is set up by due to the flux MMF, that is N2 into I2. So if you are going to write the equation, so you can write the equation as N1 into I1 dash is equal to N2 into I2, where N1 is what? N1 is the turns of the primary coil, and I1 dash is the counter balance current which is flowing at the primary side, and I2 is the secondary current, and N2 is the number of turns at the secondary side. So N1 I1 dash can be written as equal to N2 into I2. So you can write I1 dash is equal to what? N2 upon N1 into I2, and where this N2 upon N1 is equal to what? It is K. So you can write I1 dash is equal to K I2, where K is what? K is a transformation ratio. So the flux is restored to its original value as shown in figure D. The total primary current I is the vector sum of current I1 dash and I naught. So we can write this total current which is flowing in the primary winding, I1 is equal to what? Is equal to I naught plus I1 dash. This I naught is a no load current which is flowing through the primary winding, and I1 dash is the counterbalance current which is taken from the main supply B1. This I1 is useful to counter the flux phi 2 which is opposing to the main flux phi. So this I1 dash into N1 produce such flux will oppose the flux phi 2 which is generated due to the current I2 and number of turns N2. This shows that flux in the core of a transformer remains the same from no load to full load. This is the reason why iron losses in the transformer remain the same from no load to full load. Now we will discuss the phasor diagram of the transformer, and this phasor diagram can be understood on different load. This load may be the resistive load, may be the inductive load and capacitive load. So first of all we are going to discuss the phasor diagram of transformer at resistive load. So we are just assuming that resistance and reactance of the primary winding and secondary winding end are 0. So here you can see that flux phi has been shown on the horizontal phi, and this flux is set up due to the magnetizing current Im, and this Im is the horizontal component of the current of I naught. So this I naught, this Im is what? This Im is I naught sin phi naught. Because we are discussing for the resistive load, so in case of resistive load, what happens? The current and voltage are in the same phase. So resistive loads are connected as secondary side, that means I2 and V2 are in same phase. Now due to this I2 current, there is another current is flowing, that is a counterbalance current I1 dash, and this I1 dash is a counterbalance current which is useful to the counterbalance the additional flux which was produced due to the flow of the current I2. So here you can see the I1 dash is just opposite to the I2 which has been shown on the vertical axis. So net current that is flowing at the primary side, that current I1 is equal to what? That I1 current is the phasor sum of current I1 dash and I0 current. So here you can see this I1 current is lagging with the voltage V1 by phi 1, and this I0 current is lagging with V1 by phi 0. This phi 0 is a phase angle at no load. Now we will discuss the phasor diagram for the inductive load. So as you know, for the inductive load, what is the nature of the current? This current I2 will lag with respect to the voltage B2 by some angle, and this angle can be written as here as a phi 2. So here you can see on the vertical axis there is a induced EMF is a E2, and just we are assuming because there is a no resistance and reactance in the secondary winding, so whatever the voltage induced in the secondary side is equal to the voltage at the load, that is E2 is equal to B2. So this I2 current is lagging with respect to E2, or you can see B2 by the angle phi 2. So here you can see this I2 is lagging with respect to E2 by angle phi 2. So counterbalancing current I1 dash is equal to I2 and just opposite of that phase I2. So here it has been shown I1 dash, and this I1 dash is lagging with voltage V1 by angle phi 2, and this I1 dash, I1 current, that is a primary current of the transformer, is equal to what? It is a phasor sum current of I1 dash and I0. Next phasor diagram that we are going to discuss, that is a phasor diagram for the capacitive load. So for the capacitive load, what happens? Current leads with respect to the voltage by some angle, and this angle will depend on the nature of the capacitive load. That means it will depend on the value of resistance and capacitive reactance Xc. So here you can see in the phasor diagram, the way of draw the phasor diagram is the same as for the resistive load, for the inductive load, and same methodology will be followed for the capacitive load also. So here you can see that I2 current is leading with respect to angle phi 2. Now just counterbalance current, that is a compensating current, you can say, just it is equal to the I2. So I1 dash is lagging with respect to the voltage V1 by the phi 2. So what will be the value of current I1? This I1 is equal to the phasor sum of current of I1 dash and I0. So this is how you can draw the phasor diagram for the resistive load, inductive load and capacitive load. So dear learner, in this session we have discussed how the transformer will work at no load. At the same time we have also discussed how the transformer will behave at no load, and this discussion has been supported with help of the equivalent circuit diagram and phasor diagram. Thank you so much.